And welcome back. This is Frank Demora with the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, and this is March the 25th of 2011, and I invite you to come to my website, www.bibleprophecyman.com, and when you're there, you'll be able to download my documentary for free, The Bible, Prophecy, and Current Events, with all the information in it, 325 pages, 8.5 by 11. This is the newest edition, March 18th of 2011, and you can get all of the information you need to prove that Christ is coming soon and that you need to get right with him before he does come for his church. Now, I want to again go into the Middle East. What's happening in the Middle East? What God shows us about the Middle East. In Psalm 83, I've mentioned this many times. I mentioned it yesterday, but there's new news coming out, and I need to relate this to you to help you prepare for Jesus Christ and help you to prepare for the events that are about to take place. Now, Psalm 83 is a warning about a war between Israel and the Arab nations, the nations that are bordering the nation of Israel. And it will happen at a time where all of these Arab nations will get together and they will counsel with each other. And the reason why they do is because they think that they're going to get rid of Israel to wipe Israel's name out of remembrance. That's what we read in Psalm 83. But we also know for Psalm 83 that Israel will be victorious when that war happens. Now, I know that there's a lot of Arab people out there who may not like what I'm saying, but I am telling you strictly what the word of the Lord says from the Bible. Now, you can either choose to accept the word from the Bible or you can deny it. That's your choice. But at least I'm giving you an opportunity to look at what's going to happen before it does, so that when you do see it exactly the way that the Lord had written it, then you'll understand who is the real Messiah, and hopefully at that point, I pray that you will be turning to the Messiah for salvation at that time. Now, what I'm going to do here is post an article for you. I'm going to put it up here. You might want to freeze frame the I don't know how well it's going to come up here, but don't worry about it, because you can go to my website. The link will be there. You could read the entire story. The headline reads this way: Israel ready to react with great force, Netanyahu. And for those who don't know, Netanyahu is the current Prime Minister of Israel. And this news came out of Caesarea. It says the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told the U.S. Defense Secretary Robert Gates on Friday that Israel is ready to act with great force in response to the spat of rocket fire by Gaza militants and deadly bus bombing in Jerusalem, which would happen a couple days ago. It says Israel has been subjected to bouts of terror and rocket attacks, Netanyahu told reporters before going into the meeting with Gates. Now, Gates is the current U.S. Defense Secretary, Robert Gates, and this has nothing to do with the Gates from Microsoft. Israel has been subjected to bouts of terror and rocket attacks, Netanyahu told reporters before going in. I've just repeated myself, excuse me. It says, we stand ready to act with great force and great determination to put a stop to it, he added, with police saying Israel had not been hit by any projectiles Friday morning, which is this morning. Netanyahu said that he had received a very warm telephone call from U.S. President Barack Obama on Thursday expressing his condolences after the latest flare-up of violence. And hey, finally Barack Obama did something that he can be blessed for. He's going to Israel and he's saying that they can defend themselves. It's about time. It says Gates, a former, or it goes on to say this, any civilized society will not tolerate such warrant attacks on its citizens, he said. Gates, a former CIA director with years of experience in Washington, said U.S. and Israel security ties were as strong as they have ever been at a time when the region is in turmoil. And of course, the United States, they see the democracy within Israel and they are like a speck of sand in this huge area of Arab nations. And if democracy falls in Israel, it's gonna have a domino effect, and there's going to be a caliphate of Arab nations that will sweep across this country. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. There's going to be major problems. It goes on to say, on Thursday he said that Tel Aviv and Washington firmly backed Israel's right to respond to both the rocket fire and the Jerusalem bombing, which he described as repugnant acts. But he suggested Israel should tread carefully or risk derailing the course of popular unrest sweeping Arab and Muslim countries in the Middle East. The U.S. defense chief is pressing Israel and the Palestinian leaders to take bold action for peace despite soaring tensions, saying political upheaval in the region offered an opportunity. And after meeting with Netanyahu, Gates traveled amid heavy security to the West Bank city of Ramallah to meet the Palestinian Prime Minister Salam Safad, and first visit or such visit by the U.S. defense chief. And before their meeting, Safad told Gates it was time of great challenge throughout the region, but also a time of opportunity requiring the redoubling of the efforts in pursuing a cause of peace and justice and security. So here we go again. The very words that God showed Paul. When they shall call peace and security, that's when sudden destruction is coming. They are talking peace and security right now. Here's the proof, and it's almost every single day that we're hearing something about this. And notice also that we were told in this article the warning that Israel should tread carefully, because the popular opinion would be swaying against the Israelis. Israel's leaders have appealed reluctant to be dragged into another bloody war with the Hamas, especially as they lacked international support for any new offensive in Gaza, because they know every time that the Palestinians rocketed them and then Israel responds, instead of the world opinion going to the people who sent over those rockets in the first place, they go immediately to Israel when Israel responds and stops the attacks. It's crazy how the media is one-sided on this issue. But here's the main deal. We see that the road to Psalm 83 is being paved, and the peace process is still stalled. They're calling for peace and safety while the rest of the region is in turmoil. And I believe that this is a prime time, if any, that there would be another conflict against Israel. All right, let me go on. Also, there's another article today that talks about Israel defending itself. I'm going to put this up here for you because they know now that a new round of conflict has begun, and they're getting ready for it. And this article says dangerous breach suspected at, excuse me, this is I have one article. I got the wrong one for you. There was a breach of the Iron Dome. Well, I don't have it right here in front of me, but let me... there is a Iron Dome that Israel is going to install, and they believe that that is going to be taking place today. Let me see if I can get that for you. One second here. All right, it's an article that came out from the J Post, and I'm going to read this. I didn't make a copy of it, but I'm going to read it. And again, this shows the coming of this Psalm 83 war. It says this: as missile fire from the Gaza Strip escalated on Thursday, the IDF is preparing for a possible deployment of the Iron Dome counter-rocket defense system along Israel's border with Gaza. And that the Gaza is the Phoenicians in the Old Testament, who are today's modern-day Palestinians. And those are the people who are seeking to destroy Israel. In late February, the Israeli Air Force held a test of the counter-rocket defense system, Iron Dome, which was supposed to serve as the final stage before declaring the system operational. Well, a month has passed since then. The system is nowhere to be found, despite the recent escalation and daily rocket missile attacks against Israel towns and cities in the south. Officially, the IAF claims that even though the system successfully passed the first round of tests in February, it is still not ready for deployment. On the other hand, some defense officials have accused the IAF of getting cold feet and of refusing to deploy the system due to fear that it might not work. Iron Dome is designed to defend against rockets at a range of 4 to 7 kilometers, and each battery consists of multi-mission radar manufactured by the Israeli aerospace industries and 3 launchers, each equipped with 20 interceptors named the Tamar. So Israel is trying, and watch the news here, because I believe that they are going to have to deploy this Iron Dome. There's a lot of talk about it right now because of all of the missiles and the rockets and these mortars that are being fired in from the Gaza into the Israel. And of course, Israel is definitely going to step up action against these things. And you will see in the news how this conflict is going to just roll like a snowball coming down a huge mountain. By the time it reaches, it's going to be mega. And that mega mountain of snow, if you want to relate it to that, is going to end up fulfilling Psalm 83, when all of the nations will come against Israel because of the failing peace process and Israel countering these attacks by the Palestinians. You should be watching that in the news, because you're going to see a lot more of this news. I don't care what news you watch, whether it's ABC, the BBC, NBC, they're going to be talking about the escalation that's going down in the Middle East against Israel. And so now scroll down, because I'm going to give you a little bit more information about what's going on in Japan as far as the nuclear reactors, and relate that to the scriptures as well. Thanks.